Hey guys, so in this video I want to talk about local lead generation and what it's done for me. Okay, so first of all, my name's Kyle Roloff. I know you can't see me right now, but I'm sure that'll change down the road. But a little bit about my history. I started off as majoring in philosophy in college. Back in 2016 I graduated, and then I started working as a janitor for a nonprofit. And then soon after that, I met the woman who would become my wife, and I realized that engagement rings are expensive, and paying for an engagement ring on a nonprofit budget was not impossible, was going to be very difficult. So I decided to move from a nonprofit to a for-profit factory, and at this factory we made all kinds of cheese, but I was paid nearly twice as much. But still, I wasn't satisfied with the lifestyle I had to live. I had to work a weird shift. It's called a 3-2-2 shift, where you have, or no 2-2-3. Yeah, that's what it is. Can't even remember. It's been a year and a half, 2 years, or no, it's been about 2.5 years since that happened. But what we have to do is you'd work on Monday, Tuesday, and then you'd have Tuesday, Wednesday, or then you have Wednesday, Thursday off, and then you'd work Thursday, Friday, or would you work Friday, Saturday, Sunday? And then the next week it would switch, because then you would have off on Monday, Tuesday, you'd work Wednesday, Thursday, and then you'd have off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's a really weird schedule, and it really just started to get to me, so I was like, okay, at this point was just about to get married, and I was like, well, my wife was like, hey, you're going to want to move to a more stable schedule so we can build our marriage and you could be home every evening. So I switched to a job that was different factory, was putting together motor parts. So these things had to be within like a thousandth of an inch to make them right. So I was in the detailed press department, and what I learned here was there's not a lot of money to be made working at a factory, and so I had to level up my skills somehow. And now keep in mind that I had a bachelor's degree at this point, but I really wasn't satisfied with the level of income that I was making. And because in college they tell you all that you should make a difference, that you need to work and make a difference in the world, but they really don't tell you how, the specifics. They give you this ideal vision, at least at the college I went to. But so then when I was scrolling around on the internet one night, I found Ippei's blog. Now Ippei is not spelled E-P-A-Y; it just sounds like that. His real name is Ippei. So .com here, so you can go to Ippei blog, ippei.com, I-P-P-E-I. So, and I found his blog, and on this blog he reviews all sorts of internet businesses, right? From affiliate marketing, social media marketing, agency creation, Facebook ads agency, all these different types of business models. And at the end of it, he comes out with saying, hey, the local lead generation model is superior to all those models because it's consistent, it has a lot more control, and involves ownership, because you actually own the asset that produce the leads for the local business owners. Now, how exactly does local lead generation work? Now, local lead generation has 6 different steps. First of all, there's due diligence. Now, this is finding places on the web where in local areas that there's not a you can easily put in an asset to that location and in that niche. So it's a combination of 2 things: niche and location. So let's make it extremely practical and say, in this business, we look at 2 different things. We're looking for a couple different things. So we're going to search for Chicago plumbing. Okay. So in this, we're going to get a couple different ads, but what we're looking for here, the low-hanging fruit test, the simple test here, is to see if these 3 businesses are also inside of on the first page here, within the first 10 results, right? So before the ads there. Now, to see that, we want to just go to here. We can go to see first Chicago Plumbing, Good Plumbing, and Rocket Plumbing. Now notice how there's not those 3 websites here. This would mean that this isn't impossible to get into. It's more, plumbing is a highly searched key term, so it's a little bit more difficult to get into. But that's what you're looking for when you do low-hanging fruit test, is to see where, if these 3 map listings are on the front here. Also, what you can look for on this low-hanging fruit test is to see if there's big national-wide businesses like Yelp, like HomeAdvisor, and others, because what Google does in the local sphere is prioritize all these local businesses as opposed to national businesses. So if you can create an asset that looks better to Google than, and more localized to Google than the Yelp page does, which isn't that hard to do when you know the right steps, then you could begin to push Yelp down the way, and you can have your asset up towards the top here. Okay, so that's an example of finding the low-hanging fruit. Now, for the second step here is to create the asset. Now, this involves creating a website, which is something you own. Okay, that's important because whenever you create like a Facebook ad campaign, or you create a product on Amazon, Amazon can shut down your account because it's all their decision. You're working only on their platform. Now, you might think that Google can shut down a website. They can't, because there's all these other search engines that are used as well. Plus, you own the website, and the way that websites are set up is that you control the domain, you own the hosting, and the only thing Google can really do, if you really piss them off, is de-index your site. And then what you can do is go ahead and duplicate it somewhere else and put it on a different domain, and then you can be off again. Okay, so that's simply put, you own the website, so then you can create the asset. So in this asset creation phase, what you're going to do is build a website using, there's a variety of different website builders available, but you're going to create it in a specific way. You're going to have a lot of words on the page that make sense to both Google's search engine and to the person going over the page. Now, it's important to have a specific number of words on this page, not keyword specifics, but a certain number of words, because the more words you have, ultimately, the happier Google is to put you higher up in the SERP results. Okay? So the next things you're going to do is optimize that asset. You're going to make sure that your keywords are there. You're going to make sure that you do the sort of technical optimization, such as adding your title tags to your website. You're going to make sure that you have local pages as well, because what you're going to want to do is create, in the niche and the city that you want, you're going to have to go and get a domain from someplace like Namecheap. Okay, I have a lot of domains with Namecheap, but you can go to a place like Namecheap and buy a domain. So, but in this case, let's stick with the Chicago plumbing example, and we can get one. So Chicago plumbing professionals. We'll see if this is available. So notice Chicago plumbing professionals is available. So, but notice how I have the keyword here, and I have the location, and then I have the niche involved there, and I have professionals. Professionals. This, whether you put experts or professionals or whatever at the end of this, doesn't matter so much, but it's key to have the location and the niche inside the domain. Okay, so that's a free tip for you. All right, so once you've optimized your asset and doing the different things that we've talked about, plus more that's provided in the training, you're going to want to go and create your Google My Business listing. Okay, and this is fairly simple. You can just create a Google My Business listing, and then you're off to the races there. Ultimately, you're going to submit a form to Google. They'll mail a postcard to your location of business, and then you'll put in the code after logging into your Google My Business listing account again, and then your listing will be verified. Then you're done with step 4. Now you got to optimize the listing. Now this involves a lot of different things, but the main thing is to fill it out as completely as possible. You want to add images taken by cameras or phones that are were you in that area, and so then Google takes the location from those phones and puts it into the photo as well. You can also use different geotagging tools such as GeoImager, GeoIMGR. There's different ways to do that, but you want to make sure it's filled out. You want to make sure you have several posts going out each week so that Google really sees that your listing is active. Then after you've added these different things to your listing, you want to make sure that your business is getting some reviews on your Google My Business profile. Google loves reviews. Then you want those reviews to be a certain length and have some keywords in there are helpful. And there's different ways to source those reviews as well. The easiest way to start off is by getting a Google My Business review link, which you can get from whitespark.ca for free. Okay, all you need to do is enter your GMB information there, and it'll pull it for you. Google makes it sometimes hard to find that link, so that's one way to do it. Okay, and then finally, once you have done all these different steps 1 through 5, what happens is your asset starts to generate calls and contact form submissions, right? If you set it up the way that Ippei teaches. So then what you're going to do there is you're going to start soliciting other business owners, because at this point you are a business owner. This is a business, right? And you're going to say, hey, I had one guy who, I was building a website for a guy, and then he couldn't take on these calls for family reasons, and so I'm stuck with this website that's producing calls. I don't have any interest in entering this service or providing this service. Would you be willing to take on these interested customers and just provide me some kind of kickback? Or I don't know if you have a referral program. That's the way you can begin to look out for or reach out to these businesses, and you're going to find that some are pretty sketchy with it. Some are just going to take your leads and leave you hanging. But then there's a lot of good business owners out there as well who say, it's worth paying you a referral fee because they can generate a lot more revenue off of the steady flow of high quality customers. And plus, if they deal with other lead generation companies such as HomeAdvisor, they know that one perk that you can offer is, hey, I'll give you all the leads you can handle from this site, and I won't farm them out to any other business owners. Unlike HomeAdvisor, HomeAdvisor sells the leads 5 times to 5 different business owners. So it eliminates that confusion. All right, so that's how the local lead generation business works. And over time here, I'm going to be posting more about the local lead generation business and how you can create your own local lead generation business to generate either a full-time income or a side income. Okay? Thanks a lot for watching.